Now, winning a WSOP is the pinnacle of any poker player's career. But with so many events on the calendar these days, what does it really mean to win a title? And where is poker heading? We got together with some pros to figure it out.
I think there's just a general problem in poker that no one's really sure where the prestige is. I mean, I don't think there's 5 people in the world who could name half or more of the winners on the EPT.
Yeah.
And I think that shows that there's something inherently wrong in the prestige of poker right now.
The World Series clearly is something that people aspire to. They want to win a gold bracelet. They understand the excitement, the television, the glory, having your name in the record books forever. If you win something in poker, you want to win a gold bracelet. You want to win a major event, a title. If someone were to win one of those high-stakes events, there's some bragging rights attached to that. But what are they beating, 30 people? 25, 30, 40 people. Really, I think when it comes to poker accomplishments and the things that you relish as a competitor, you have to have fields that are, I think, a bit more substantial than that.
I think that everyone is going down sort of this road that big fields mean better poker and better tournaments. I think that the World Series of Poker main event, that's got that, that's great. You know, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, the more they have, the better. I think every other tournament would be much better served to start capping the field at something like 200 or 300, and to have 100 of the people that are qualified in, and maybe 50 locals, and another 100 from a sponsor site, and that sort of thing. And that would give the tour some cohesion. It would give a sort of story. It would be magical just to be able to qualify in an event. That would give it prestige. That's not just about showing up to play for the money. It could all be based on the model of the PGA, where there's a certain number of people, if there's a tour, and there's a certain number of people who are qualified to be able to play on that tour for the whole year, for free or for whatever. And then there's a certain number of seats available for other people in different ways. And the dream, which used to be turn $1 into $1 million, that doesn't really hold people's attention anymore because too many people have done it. The new dream for me, for poker, would be that my dream is to be able to win my card, win my tour card. You get to play in a bunch of events with added money and that sort of thing, and actually be a professional poker player.
Okay, so after watching that, Barney, let's go back to the beginning and talk about the fact that winning a WSOP bracelet is the most prestigious thing, important thing as a poker player.
The main event, certainly. There's no other event like it, and there never will be, I think, for all sorts of reasons, historical and just the number of players involved and all the rest of it. Other bracelets, I don't know. There's other things I'd rather win, like the Aussie Millions or the Monte Carlo EPT.
Is that just you reckon, or is that sort of every poker?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people would look at those events and say they're big, prestigious events, that they're big prizes. The winner gets known about. There's a lot of bracelets now.
There's a lot of events. Do you think there's too many events?
I mean, the demand speaks for itself. People go and play them. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to win a bracelet, but there are a lot of shots now.
How many events do you play roughly a year?
I think during the rest of the year, I'd probably play about one event a month, if that at the moment. World Series, I might play a dozen. World Series Europe, play all of them.
And do you think that they need to be more spaced out? Do you think they're too many together?
Obviously, the World Series itself is very intense. You don't have to play them all. There are people who play 2 a day. It's insane. But the choice is there. And to me, the more events, the merrier. I mean, Jesse there, he was talking from the point of view of TV a lot, and he was talking about the dream of the $1 thing turning into $1 million being dead. Well, I don't know. I mean, for ordinary players and for sponsors, that's still a huge thing. And do we really want to kick the ladder away? Do we really want to just create an elite? I mean, I think that it is very important, the PGA idea, and I think it's coming. It will come. And to me, what's important is that when it does happen, that some kind of recognised federation like Tony Holden's International Poker Federation creates a set of ratified, or agrees a set of ratified, transparent criteria for how you get in. And it's not TV shows or producers or sponsors shoehorning in their chosen players. Everyone has to understand the rules about how you get into this tour.
Thanks, Barney. Okay, so it's not just pros that have issues, though, and every month we ask our guests some of your questions. This month, Rob Peach had this to say. Every time I play in a big tournament, I either streak ahead of the field and crumble near the bubble, or struggle completely and blind out. What's the secret to consistency and coming from the middle of the pack like I see so many pros do on TV?
The question that talks about blinding off, now that's something you should never do. You know, if everybody knows it. If your stack is ceasing to be playable, you should be looking for opportunities to just gamble. When he talks about crumbling at the big blind, I don't really... when he talks about crumbling at the bubble, I don't really know what he means, whether he means that he's actually rocking up too much, which would be a big mistake, or if he's actually being over-aggressive. I mean, if you've got a big stack at the bubble, of course you should be using it. And if he's pushing it and it's just not working out for him, maybe he's been unlucky. But really, the main point about this question is, don't be too concerned about being in the middle of the pack. That's not too bad a place to be.
There you go, Rob. Sean McCready asked, I recently joined a poker site and play MTTs and multi-table sit-and-goes, but I noticed players only playing a few hands early on, then sitting out until they reach the final table. When I reach the final table, it feels like I've earned the right to be there through the way I've played. Do you think sites should put a stop to this type of play, or do you think it's okay?
I don't know if I'm missing something, but I don't really see how a good player can think it's an advantage to sit out at any point. You know, you don't trust yourself to play your hands correctly. It's no different to somebody going to sleep in a live tournament and just, you know, passing their hands without looking at them. If they want to do that, let them. I mean, how can that possibly give you an edge?
Thanks, Barney. And just to remind you that if you want us to help solve your poker headaches, then drop us a line via email to pokerplayer@pokerchanneleurope.com. Well, that's all we've got time for in part one, but don't go anywhere because in part two we reveal the winner of last month's competition and have some more great prizes to give away. We catch up with Jake Cody and the Devilfish, and Barney will be giving us some top advice on sit and goes. See you after the break.